right, what up, what up, what up? Today looking at Collatz. I love the name Collatz. Python Codewars, let's get it. Looking down here, the Collatz sequence, starting with a positive integer n, is found by repeatedly applying the following function to n until n equals 1. And yeah, you got that function notation for you math heads out there. So the Collatz sequence is, if n is even, you do n divided by 2. If n is odd, you do 3 times n plus 1. So it depends on the input. So really you have like this conditional function where if n is even, you do n divided by 2. If n is odd, you do 3n plus 1. And the point here is to repeatedly apply it until n equals 1. So really, whatever number you plug in here, you're going to do this thing, this Collatz sequence or function over and over again until n equals 1. And that is the task at hand here. And that is it. Well, not completely it, because you got to return it in a certain format. But that's the sequence. And then getting further down here, create a function called Collatz that returns the Collatz sequence string starting with a positive integer argument passed into the function in the following form. Blah, blah, blah. Let's actually just fast forward down here. Take a look. Given an input of 4, you're going to return this. Given an input of 3, going to return this one. Where really it is, you're showing the application of the Collatz function step by step. So for instance, 4, 4 of course is an even number. So when you have an even in the Collatz, you divide it by 2. And that of course is going to give you a 2. That's the next number in the sequence. So then a 2 is also even. You divide it by 1. And that gives you a 1. So then we do it until n equals 1. So we've arrived at our answer. So yes, the point here is to show all the steps of your Collatz sequence. Same thing happening down here where we have a 3. A 3 is an odd number, of course. So you do 3 times 3 plus 1. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. So you get 10. There's where the next number in the sequence comes in. And you go really down the chain, and for each one you print the number and an arrow to show really each output each output of the function as you move through your Collatz sequence. And that's what it is, folks. So on we go. Ale oxen free, as they say. No clue what that means. Okay, let's dig in here. So with this input, if it equals 1, I'm just going to return a 1 because you're supposed to return a string of all the steps. Well, if there's no steps to endeavor upon, you just return the single number, because we're supposed to do this until it equals 1. If it already equals 1, we just return. Let's make it that. So initially, I'm going to put my incoming in. I'm basically going to start the string to kind of set the stage for the next number in the sequence. because I'm supposed to create a string consisting of each number in the sequence. I've already got the first number in the sequence via n, so I'm going to plug that in to start my string. And of course, there's going to be another number in the sequence because we know that n is not 1 because we've already eliminated 1 via the conditional. So then I'm going to create a while loop to loop while n is not 1. Once n is 1, I'm going to exit the loop. But while n is 1, I'm going to do the Collatz function on n. And yeah, this is going to be the main driver where I'm going to perform the Collatz function on n until it equals 1. And whatever n comes in as, I'm going to check if it's even or odd. Even, you do one thing, odd, you do another, and then I assign the new value to n, and then I loop over again, having the new value of n go through the process until it equals 1. So I have to check for even and odd, because that's the condition of the sequence. So if n, that's not right, if n modulo 2 equals 0, it's even. And if it is even, the directive is to divide by 2. So I'm going to use Python's double division operator, because the double division does, I think they call it floor division. I call it integer division, where the result is going to be an integer that I believe is rounded down. But the key point here is that I want an integer result. I don't want a fractional result. So that's why I'm doing that one. And then we have an else for the odds, of course. And for the odds, it's going to be going to be that 3n plus 1. And what I will do also is add to my return string, because once one of these conditionals is pursued, I'm going to have my next n, so I'm going to place that next n in my return string to basically make another link in the chain. Actually, I can just copy this. This is same-ish. Yeah. And I'm almost done, because that while loop, when the while loop is done, I will have all my numbers in the string of the sequence, because 1 is the ending situation. One last thing, because of the way I'm putting the string together, there is going to be an arrow at the end of the output, because I'm indiscriminately adding an arrow to every single number that I add. There's going to be an arrow at the end next to the 1, so I've got to remove that arrow, and I'm going to do that as I return. So I'm just going to return the return string, and I'm going to strip it. As in Python, the strip function allows you to strip any character from the beginning or the end, or really any set of characters. So it's kind of a duct tape solution, but I'm gonna strip the extra arrow off the end. And yeah, I know there's a more efficient way to do this. Of course, I'm writing something and then removing it, but this is what I'm doing right now, folks. I'm gonna go with this one. But if you got the better solution, throw it in the chat and have everybody look at that, because I'm all about discussion. So, but this is not the best way to do it, but can't think of another way right now, so I'm going to leave it as is. As I say all the time, let's run this sucker, or this mother. How about that? Alrighty. I got a situation here. Looks like I might have a typo. Let's check it out. If n equals 1, return 1. I think I did this yesterday or a day before or something like that. I forgot to do the plus equals and put an equal there, so yeah, it kind of jacked it up. I believe that's what it is. Looks like it. Let's go, folks. We got that Collatz. I got that Collatz, homie. So yeah, this one is done. Solution good, code good, and you're good, and I'm good. So with that, folks, that's all. And I am out. See you later.